Hey guys, let's do this. Make sure you are on Form A. We are going to correct your test. So you can correct if you want to retake this. If you have an A or a B, it's not as important if you retake it. And IB just stands for in progress. Okay. So if you are, in the progress of learning these goals, that's fine. That's why you're getting another chance. If you got an A or a B, you do not have to retake it, but you might want to because you're maybe struggling on some of the other sections and you want this section to be the highest score as possible. Okay. So out of 30 points, look at this number, whatever number's up here, will tell you how many points you earned out of the 30. Okay. Now, make sure you're getting partial credit for copying this stuff onto the picture. And notice we know that this diagonal and this diagonal have to equal the same thing. All right, so make sure you set this up. This diagonal and this diagonal have to also equal the same thing. Make sure you copy the problem down. So when you're doing your error checking, did you copy this down correctly? Did you set it up correctly? All right, now I almost have x by itself on one side. If I subtract 3 on both sides, and again, I get a lot of feedback from students, you're talking too fast. But remember, I have to make 4 videos for Form A, 4 videos for Form B. So on YouTube, you can slow it down if I am talking too fast. Feel free. Okay. So I'm going to substitute that in there. Did you distribute? That was a mistake I saw a couple people make. All right. I get 10y is equal to 20. So y is equal to 20 over 10, which is 2. Now let's plug this back in. Oh, excuse me, you weren't able to see that. I shifted it up there. So maybe pause it. Okay, now x is equal to 3 times y, which we know is 2, minus 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. Okay, good job. Here, we know that rectangles' opposite sides are congruent. So hopefully you set this up that 2x plus 6 has to equal 5y and 5x has to equal 7y plus 7. Okay. So, oh, these are different. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can actually figure out how to substitute, or you can use elimination. Okay, so I can't really get x and y by itself without turning these into decimals. So your algebra teacher told you to turn it into standard form. Okay, so turning this into standard form, if I subtract 5y on both sides, I get 2x minus 5y. Standard form means the number is on this side. So let's subtract 6 on both sides, and now that's in standard form. I'm going to change this one to standard form as well. So subtract the 7y. So I could have done that here. Subtract the 7y. That probably looks a little cleaner. So I have 5x minus 7y is 7. These are in standard form. Now, I put them vertically to each other and see if I can cancel. So 2x minus 5y, 5x minus 7y. Okay, nothing cancels. So I have to multiply one with the other. So let's see what that looks like. I want this to x's. It looks like it's easiest to make the x's go away. So if I multiply everything on the left by 5 and the right by 5, I'm going to rewrite this. 10x minus 25y equals negative 30. And now I want to be able to cancel. I want this to be negative 10x. So I'm going to multiply everything on the left and everything on the right by negative 2. So I get negative 2x positive 14y equals negative 14. And now see that this cancels vertically. So this worked out great. Okay, so I get 25 and 14. So 25. So I get negative 11y and negative 44y. So now, if I divide by a negative 11 on both sides, I get y is equal to 4. Ooh, I like it. So y is equal to 4. Now, any of these equations I can substitute back in. So this one looks perfectly good, right? Y is 4. So where I see this letter y, I can make that 4. So I have 5x. I'm going to go over here. I have 5x is equal to 28 plus 7, because again, y we know is 4. So 28 plus 7 is 35. So x is 7. Got it? X is 7. Could we plug this back in to verify? Absolutely. So if I make x is 7, this side's 35. If I make y 4, this side's 35. And make x 7, this side's 14 plus 6, or 20. If I make y 4, that side's 20. So that makes sense. The rectangle is 35. The longer two sides are 35, the shorter two are 20. All right, let's get to the last one. What are the values in x and y for A and B, C, D is a parallelogram? A is 3x, B is 5x minus 8, C is that, and D is 10. Okay. So D, 10. That's pretty skinny. So I'll just start A, B, C, D. This isn't to scale, but it's just, now it says must use opposite angle property. So we know that these angles are equal and these angles are equal. So let's set those equal and solve. Angle A matches angle A has to match angle C. So 3x has to match 2y plus 3. And angle B has to match angle D. 5x. Okay, once again, I don't have a way of really getting x or y by itself on one side. So I've got to use the elimination method. Let's turn it into standard form. So standard form would state, get the x's and the y on the same side. So that'd be 3x minus 2y equals 3. And this one's already in standard form. Okay, so just like we did before, we're going to line them up vertically and see how they might be able to cancel. So 3x minus 2y, 5x minus 8y. How could this cancel? Well, maybe I could get the x's to cancel like I got the x's to cancel before by multiplying by that other number. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this side by 5, and I got to multiply that side by 5, right? So I get 15x minus 10y is equal to 15. And then I want this 15x to cancel, so I'm going to have to multiply by a negative 3 because I want it to look like that. I want it to cancel. So let's multiply both sides by negative 3. So negative 3 times 5x. 24y equals negative 30. Now we can cancel vertically. So negative 10 plus 24 is 14. 15 minus 30 is negative 15. And so we have our answer. Y is equal to negative 15 over 14. A little disturbing, but we know this grading period we're going to have ugly answers. All right. So as a fraction or as a decimal? Okay, let's plug this in. So we can plug it in. We know 3x is equal to 2 times this fraction plus 3. Oops, sorry, you couldn't see that. We know 3x is equal to 2 times this fraction, negative 15/14 plus 3. So I have it in my calculator. I'm going to multiply by 2. And again, that's negative, remember, so subtract that. So you could do it in your calculator. Okay, and I get 0.29. Okay, well, what would that fraction be? So let's practice this. This would reduce to 1/7, so my fraction is 15/7 plus, I'm going to do a little magic. I'm going to rewrite this 27/3, and now I can combine these. But again, remember that this one's negative. So when I combine them, 21 minus 15, I get, ooh, that should be a 7, right? 21 divided by 7 is 3. I get 6/7. So let's turn that into a decimal. I kind of did already, 6/7. Oh, I got a different answer there. So I got to get to the bottom of that. Oh, I forgot to divide by 3. So I got 3x is equal to 6/7. So let's divide both sides by 3. So I get 6 divided by 21. So if you left it as a decimal, 6 divided by 21, yes, I get the same answer. So most people that got it right would have left it as a decimal, but that is the fraction 6/21. Thanks for joining us.